What's up? What's up? It's your boy Dwell, aka Mr. J, aquí en la casa, coming at you sideways with another segment of Las Different Voices. Today I got a special guest. I got Julio in the house, the rock and roll realtor, right?
Yeah, rock and roll realtor.
Rock and roll realtor
on Instagram.
On Instagram. What's up? How you doing, man?
Good, homie. Good to see you.
You're doing good. Hey, thank you for coming through, man. I appreciate it. You know, it's an honor. If you coming through is a blessing to me, man, and I appreciate you taking the time to come over here and show some support and do what we gotta do. You know, thank you.
I like what you've done to the castle.
Oh, thank you. Well, Julio, right here. Introduce yourself a little bit, man. Go ahead.
Well, my name is Julio. Julio Arana. I live in Santana. I am a realtor. Real estate guy, a real estate investor. Housing provider, and flipper, and then a musician. So I do a lot of music, and kind of involved in this downtown or Santa Ana scene. I grew up here and I really like the city. A lot of people, if they make it or whatever, they want to move out, but I don't know. I think for me, this city has provided a lot and has given me a lot. So it's not like it's a drag to stay. Like, I like it here. It's a good place to be. So I was fortunate enough to meet you, and then just get you to buy this cool house that you live in now.
Well, Julio pretty much helped me get this house. I think he played a major role in me getting this house, because it's pretty hard now. I'm just talking about a regular average type of Joe like me, especially in Orange County. It's kind of hard right now to get a house. I've been talking to my friends and this and that, and some can get it, and some can't. And I just think you played a big role. He pretty much, I think, gave me that step that I needed to get the house. Maybe if I were to call somebody else, I probably wouldn't have it, man. So thank you for that too. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think our goal is to educate, right? And inspire and then push too. Like you're when you come to me, you hire me to not necessarily be a yes man, but to give you my advice, and then to keep you away from the fear of home ownership, because we still have a lot of open wounds from the 2008 recession. A lot of our parents or relatives, especially in the Latino community, experienced some level of distress, perhaps fraud, in regards to home ownership. But with the right education and the right tools, it is important that our people own shit. So I always push it. I mean, for me, it's always, have the 200,000 miles on your truck and buy your house. That's where you start. That's where you learn. That's where you build some equity, and you build some wealth. And and when we talk about, especially in Santana, when we're talking about gentrification and all these issues, on a micro level, I'm not talking about politically and how you vote and stuff, but on a micro level, the best way to attempt to solve it is to own the shit. Like, you gotta own it.
That's right. And that's what I liked about you, man. Like I said, I'm a real picky guy, and I was like, you know what? Let's work with him. I'm kind of a picky guy, and your vibe was cool, man. Cause on top of that, you didn't come with the tuxedo. You came with shorts, like kind of like rocker surfer type dude. So I was like, sure. Hey, that's cool. That's cool. He's not coming like a business professional. He's coming how he is. Yeah. He's coming with it. And why do you do that? Why don't you wear a tuxedo, man?
I mean, because they're uncomfortable, first of all. They're fucking uncomfortable. And I mean, it's not me. I mean, you gotta be yourself. I think, I'm always striving to, I was a misfit growing up. I like punk rockers. I like cholos. That's who I got along with. Growing up in the city, I like punk parties. I like rebels. So I like that, and I didn't want to really jeopardize myself. So, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that you have to put yourself in a box. That means, you know, like, oh, well, this is just my personality. It doesn't mean I can't learn to own shit, and it doesn't mean that I can't run a business efficiently, right? So, and then, you know, it also makes me who I'm working with, even if I'm selling higher end homes, which I have, or working on higher end homes, you know, for me, it's like, I always want to have control, in terms of, I don't want you to think that I'm here to take your money, but at the same time, also know that I don't need your money. So like, because I'm not living beyond my means, I'm not flossing, I don't have anything. So if you're not reciprocating, if we can't work together as a team, then I can fire you. I'm okay with that too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like, man. You know, you came at it in a hood way. I mean, I guess that's what you can. I felt like you know, I can relate to this. You know, he's not coming too aggressive, or he's not coming too lagging about it. He's coming just right at it. So that's why I had to go with you, man. And I appreciate it. You know, what can you tell me? You know, speaking about how you grew up, you know, because you told me a little bit before, but a lot of people think like the raza can't really do much, you know. From my experience, you know, people put themselves in a box, or they don't want to build up, or they say they can, or it's not meant for us. The white man has us down. I just heard many stories, you know. Some people do it, but I've seen more people that don't, you know.
Yeah.
But you told me you came here from Mexico, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I think first of all, it's a mindset thing, right? It's a, you know, positive mental attitude, and I'm not talking about like juju shit, but it does play in it. You know, if you visualize it, if you see it, if you picture it, then it becomes reality. Thoughts become things. So you have to picture it. You have to, you know, really have to picture it, and then you work towards that. You don't picture it and then it happens. You know, little small plans. Hey, I want to have this a year from now, or I want to do this, and you work towards it. You'd be amazed by the strides that you'll do in 5 years. It's amazing when you look back. You're like, damn, that's crazy. But so as far as me, I came to Santa Ana when I was 8 years old. I was born in Guadalajara. So we came. It was, I don't want to get too geeky, but if you understand the politics of Mexico in '94.
I've been seeing I mean, I don't understand it, but I've been seeing a Netflix called 1994.
So
have you seen that?
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, that one's it's a good way of looking at it, right? So all of a sudden overnight they added an extra zero to the peso, and all this money that you had, a lot of people that had money saved, pretty much was worthless like overnight. On top of that, inflation was really high, and unemployment got to about 25%. So we were a regular middle class family. It actually was a culture shock when we moved to the States, for me in particular, because I grew up in Guadalajara. Guadalajara in the 90s had a very strong rock scene, right? It was Maná, you know, rock en español. That's where it's from. So it was a rocker scene.
Are they from like Maná? Are they from Guadalajara?
From Guadalajara, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Dope. I thought they were from like DF or something.
No.
They're from Guadalajara.
They had the biggest fucking Latino rock band in the world ever is from Guadalajara.
A lot of people know who they are.
So that scene was there, and we were I would say like middle class family, you know, upper middle class family. Mom had some businesses. We owned our house in Mexico. We actually even had some help. I always joke around that we went from having a maid to cleaning houses like overnight. Yeah. Like that. I mean, that's the reality of the immigrant experience, you know. So we came here. I remember my mom, and I love my mom, by the way. She kind of lied. She said we're going to Disneyland on vacation, but it ended up being a permanent vacation.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But I kind of knew what was happening, right?
Yeah.
So
it was just you and your mom, or your family, or your parents,
so
together, or how was it?
My brother and my dad were the first ones to move here. My older brother Art and my parents had lived in the States before. I have an older brother that was born in LA, and then my sister was born in Dos Palos in Central California.
Oh, okay.
So my parents were doing some farming migrant work in the 70s and shit, and when they were born, like so. My
they went back.
Yeah, they would go back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, my grandma from my mom's side was born in Detroit,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm like gringo or anything.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very
I mean,
Mexican.
you're still raza.
No, I am very raza.
Okay.
When I identify as Mexican because I was born in Mexico. I speak Spanish. I speak it all the time. So I'm just trying to give you a holistic view of the family story.
Yeah.
So we moved to Santana in 95, right? August 5th, 1995. And then we Memorial Park, this neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
So over on Van Ness, my padrino had an extra house. We stayed there. Well, it was like a little room. So it was, being a kid, culture shock. I had my own room. We had extra rooms. Again, middle class family in Mexico to everybody shares a fucking room. I was joking with my mom the other day, and I tell my girlfriend all this experience all the time. I'm like, fuck. I remember going to the delis in Guadalajara, and they give me thin slice ham, right? And then the crema, all really nice, and then fucking getting like government cheese and shit.
Damn. Damn.
And then the big old fat pieces of ham and shit.
Yeah.
And then even the agua that my mom used to buy with the canned the sugar thing. And so it was survival for
it's a
like
big change then.
very drastic change for an 8-year-old. I sometimes talk to my therapist about it. Because it's traumatic for an 8, because you're conscious, right? As an 8-year-old, you know what's up. You're not too young, but you're not like too old.
You
either.
can see already.
You can definitely see it. So I went to Washington Elementary, and then my mom,
right here, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
for
much
like
right
a
here.
month, and then I got
okay.
transferred over to Taft, which is in the south part of the city.
Yeah, I've skated there.
Yeah.
I remember when I was skating, everybody used to say, "Oh, Taft is a skating spot," but I know where it's at.
Yeah, I mean it's a good school. And then learning English. I remember I would bug people because I would count all the time. I was trying to learn. I didn't want to. They would put you off to the side if you were learning.
Well, you got a good accent because I got cousins from Guadalajara. To be honest,
yeah.
I got my family's from Michoacán.
Yeah.
My uncle, I think he moved to Guadalajara. I got married there. So all my cousins were either born or raised in Guadalajara.
Yeah.
But they still have, even they were here like at 7 too. They have a thick accent. You can still hear it, like that what.
Yeah.
But they speak it good, like.
Yeah.
And you have a pretty good English accent.
Oh, thank you.
Gringo accent.
Gringo accent. Yeah, maybe because I listened to a lot of English music growing up or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but it's pretty. I mean, I just paid attention to it right now.
So we had, moved. Culture shock. Santana in the 90s was a very different. Was a very funk, very cholo. Going to school, I didn't really fit in too much in Santana. I don't. My brother didn't fit. I think he got his ass kicked by a cholo guy.
Damn.
Because he had really long hair.
Is he older than you or younger?
Yeah, I'm the youngest in my family.
Okay.
And my brother had hair probably almost down to his ass.
Oh, damn.
Because it was the thing in the 90s, but it wasn't a thing in Santana. It was just a different vibe. It was a funk cholo vibe.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. I love it. But it's a culture shock when you move in and you just, you're raza, but you don't really fit in because you're like different, I remember getting made fun of in school because I liked The Offspring or something, some band from, back in the mid 90s. That was the band that was in. And that was it. I mean, I grew up in Santana. I went to Taft. I went to MacArthur. And then I went to like 3 different high schools, but most of my stint was at Saddleback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that was a good time. There was a lot of punk rock. There was a lot of shows. I love that time. It was a crazy time. A lot of experimentation. Tried a lot of drugs. I mean, not that if you have kids watching, it's just, but that just was.
Well, yeah.
Just being real. That was the vibe. Yeah. I graduated. I mean, I had I was in honors classes and stuff, but I wasn't really into school. It wasn't my thing. I actually had my counselor take me out of honors classes. I'm like, hey, yeah.
Why? Why was that?
It was just too much work. I didn't want to do it.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
I was like, fuck this.
I thought you said just don't show it. Don't show that I'm an honors or something.
No, I just didn't want to do the work.
Yeah.
I wasn't really college bound from high school. I knew I wasn't really gonna go to a 4-year. That wasn't my thing. So I graduated, and then I kind of got my shit together, and I went to OCC. I did 2 years there, and then I applied to transfer. I still have my letters of acceptance. I got accepted to UC Santa Barbara, UCLA, UC San Diego, and Cal State Fullerton.
That's nice. That's nice.
And I went to Cal State Fullerton because I just didn't want to pay the money to go to the other ones.
Well, it doesn't matter, but you can say like you can do it. You pretty much can show the way, or you're like a testimony. You could tell people you can do it. Pretty much, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't speak English, you learned English, you took honor classes, and they offered you like good schools.
Yeah.
So it's like that's good. That's what I try to tell people too. Like, or when I talk to people, it's like you can do it. It's just if you want to do it. Nothing really holds nobody back.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to, like, I always say, you don't want to talk shit on the white man all the time, but then work for him,
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I see it like that too. Like, honestly, if sometimes even working with I'm a raza guy, but sometimes working with the white man is a little better,
Yeah.
Working.
I mean, collaborating. Collaborating is different than working for.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Like, so.
Yeah.
So you and I, like, say, hey, I'm gonna hire you to do this job. We're collaborating together, right? But if I'm gonna hire you for my company, and you're gonna come and you're gonna work for me 40 hours a week, and you're dependent. I can fire you tomorrow. If I hire you for an assignment, hey, Luis, go do my roof or go paint. Then we have that collaboration, and then you go your way, and then I go my way, right?
Yeah.
But what I mean is, when you're working for, right? Like, so when you're in institutions that are dominated and pretty much all the power is a white dude, right? Then that is like, well, you're talking shit, but then you work for the guy, right? It's okay to collaborate. I never come at it from like, never work with other people, never work with blacks, never work with Asians, never work with whites. We have to collaborate, but also who has the power in the relationship, and. Yeah. And we should, if you're gonna, the most liberating thing you can do is not being bound by somebody's paycheck. Like, if it's a white dude that's paying you, paycheck, like, that's employing you, right?
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. So go ahead. Go ahead.
So that yeah, I mean, I guess school was fun. I learned a lot. I've never took a business class, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was a Chicano studies major.
Oh, wow.
And I was a communication studies major.
So since you took Chicano, because like I said, I work with a lot of like paisanos.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People from Mexico that may speak English or may not, but pretty much since I got into the labor force or whatever, started getting money to work, I've worked with Mexicanos, not Chicanos. It's rare when I work with like
you're working
Mexican
with
Americans. Yeah. So what's your view on that, man? Because a lot of people tell me like a lot of raza don't really like Chicanos, and a lot of like they say we're not Mexican. And what's your take on that?
Well, I think both have to respect each other and check each other, right? There's a power dynamic there, because sometimes the Chicano, like, you have to understand that with like movements like affirmative action in the 70s, right? You had, the affirmative action allowed regular Mexican people, Mexican descent, to move into the middle class by providing jobs like in cities and counties, in unions, right? So you have all these Chicanos, like especially in Santa Ana, you see it all the time. They're cops, they work for the city, they work for the county, good paying jobs with pensions, health benefits, right? They've moved to the middle class, right? And then you have the raza that's immigrant that almost sees them as like lazy or something like that. Like, oh, these people aren't working hard enough. And then on the other hand, if there has been historically, maybe the dude doesn't speak English, the raza doesn't speak English, and the guy that does maybe gets the foreman job. Maybe gets the supervisor job. Yeah. And then the raza is like, well, fuck this guy. He's not working that hard. I'm working hard, right? There's power dynamics at is. What I say is, we can't be crabs in a fucking bucket. We gotta support each other, right? Because if we don't, if I'm fighting the foreman, it's like we're just fighting each other. We don't want to fight each other. We want to support each other. We want to elevate each other.
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd say everybody's got to check their privilege on it. Obviously, the power is on maybe the Chicano because the language of immigration status, right? That that's privilege, right? Because the fact that you can have a social security, form a corporation, file taxes, speak English, go to English speaking schools, have credit, the ability to establish credit, that's a huge advantage, right? So the fact that maybe a paisano doesn't have that, there could be some resentment, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But the paisano also has to realize that it's not like by bringing you down, it's not going to make him better, right?
Yeah.
So what are the conditions that we need to do to bring everybody up, to bring each other up? Hey, man, that guy's my leader in this position, so at least there's a brown guy there, right? I don't want to have him take him out of the job, So would you hate on the white guy? Like, again, I always see that with the paisanos, like, well, don't hate on your raza. You're going to hate on you might talk shit on the white guy behind his back, but you're not going to hate on him like you do on the Chicano.
Yeah. That's my opinion. That's how I see it. Cause I mean, obviously all my family is Mexicano, and pretty much, and my cousins and whatnot, but pretty much everyone that I meet outside is either, Chicano or Mexicano, pretty much.
Yeah.
And my experience is like, we're the same people, I had this discussion with the guy, like, why am I not Mexicano? Like, he's like, because you weren't born in Mexico. I mean, I understand, but my blood isn't tinted, like, not tinted, but it's not mixed. Like, both my parents are from Mexico.
Yeah.
And their and I haven't, like, my blood's still the same. And like, why am I not Mexicano and you are,
Well,
you're
you
here
are.
now,
Yeah.
So that's my take on you. Do you consider a Chicano or a Mexican American, like for example, if you have kids, just to throw an example, your wife's Chicana.
My wife's white, but
Just an example, Would you consider, or you being Mexicano and your wife from Mexico? Just an example. Would you consider your sons Mexicano?
Well, I would first of all, I would, but then it's up to them what they identify as. I don't want to impose an identity on them that they don't want.
Yeah.
I think as parents, we impose a lot of identities on our kids, and then they have problems that they have to solve later by going through therapists or something like that. So I'd like to empower my kid to make their own, him to make their own decisions of what they want to identify as.
Yeah.
We're proud. We're Mexicanos. There's a lot of really good examples of Mexicanos and Chicanos, right? Both, right? So give them the examples and choose, right? You can, we have a lot to pick from, right? We can go with Dolores Huerta, right? Or we can go with Maria Felix. I mean, they're both pretty badass, right? Yeah. It doesn't, but identifying as Mexican, if you want to identify yourself as Mexican or identify yourself as Mexican American, it's okay to want to be American too, if you want to identify yourself as that.
Yeah. And I say the same thing too, because I met I brought in a rapper last time, probably like 3 guys before. Real cool guy. I had fun right here. He says he's an immigrant too. He's like, I'm from Michoacan, bro. I'm like, oh shoot. He's like, yeah. But he supports Trump and all that stuff.
That's crazy.
He was raised here. Like, he's a cholo guy, but he's like, you know what? I've been looking into it, and it's like, well, I don't need to get mad. No. Why are we gonna get mad? It's a free country,
Yeah.
So it's like, more power to you if you go for Trump. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna talk shit. I'm not gonna talk smack. Go ahead. That's your pedo.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't talk smack on that guy. I'd like to have some dialogue with him. I'm not down with Trump. I mean, I could understand the resentment of the male resentment of this country, and I doesn't mean I agree with it. I can understand why males, in particular Latino males, could gravitate towards a man like Trump. In the raw essence of it, he's a badass. He's got bad bitches, bad cars, and he's got a badass house, right? So if you're like a teenager, fuck, this guy's shit. Any teenager's dream, you're like, this guy's cool.
Well, he's accomplished stuff. I mean, his mind state is, I don't know him, but he added pretty much like, I'm a president now, to his list. I became president, In reality, he is a badass in that respect. You know what I mean?
Well, so if you're coming at it from a teenager perspective, right? You're like, damn, this guy's cool. I want to be like that guy when I grow up. But then I think if you evolved emotionally as a human being, as a caring being, right? And you want to live a good life led by love as much as you can. right? Then you look at Donald Trump and you're like, damn, that fool is just about power. All he cares about is power.
Yeah.
So if you only really care about power and dominating, then he might be appealing to you. But if you do care about more things than that, then he might not be appealing to you.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's just like I say, I don't see why we can debate. I understand. I did debate with him a little bit, but I didn't say like I'm never gonna talk to this fool again.
No. I'm cool. I mean, I in my business, I've had I'll tell you a story. I mean, the first property that I ever bought, I was 26 years old, and I was really excited. It was the fucking coolest thing. I'm like, damn, fuck yeah, you know? And I remember we had to evict the person.
Oh, damn.
And then I go and take the sheriff, do the whole thing, open the door, and there was a swastika flag.
Oh, sure.
You know what swastika is?
Yeah,
right?
the Nazi.
Yeah. And then like a white power thing.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Where was this?
This was in Desert Hot Springs.
Oh,
in the desert. Yeah. It was like the first place I bought, and it was like, damn, you know. And then to even like my partner at the time was a Trump supporter. Like I think we can do business with people. I just bought a property from a guy here in Santa Ana. Well, we haven't closed yet, but we're in escrow and contract. And I mean, the homie's a devout Christian. I'm not Christian. I'm not Christian at all. I'm not Catholic. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Muslim. You know, I think the closest experience I've ever had to God was taking an eighth of mushrooms at
damn.
and at Zion or
some
something
mastic
like that.
stuff. Huh?
Yeah. Well, no, but that was God to me.
Yeah.
That I mean, I'm not atheist. I believe in it, but for me that was God.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So but even then, the homie and I can talk. His plan is he needs to sell me the house because he needs money to rebuild his church, and I don't. He's a conservative Christian, but we can still get along. I still like his story. I don't agree with his beliefs, but I like his story.
Yeah.
So even somebody like me that's not like that, we can both work together to get to a common goal.
Yeah, and that's good. You know, that's a good that you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. We have to. I think sometimes we just close. You know, we tend in the polarizing world of left versus right, and full disclosure, I'm pretty lefty, but in the left versus right world is like you got to pick a team, and everything that's this, and if he's not part of the team, then I can't talk to him or her. Yeah. You know, it's like I don't think that I think we're closing each other off too much if we don't talk to people that are different from us.
Yeah. No, we have to. You know, it's I don't think there's really nothing wrong with it. It's just we need to open up. You know, a lot of raza is. That's what my wife says, you know, Mexicans are conservatives, you know.
Inherently, they can be.
So it's like, in a way, you know, So, like, we shouldn't, I mean, I understand, much power to you, you know. If you believe this, believe that.
Yeah.
To each his own, you know. I just don't think, we don't really have to fight about it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean.
You know, or argue about it, you know.
We don't, but we have to, so just like expressing how I feel, he can express like he feels. So in a world like, you know, like in a world of conservatism in Latino culture, you know, even the mere fact that I would say that I don't believe in Christian God, I mean, I was just having a talk with my mom yesterday about it, and she was upset. And I was like, I love you. I understand what you're saying. I'm not denouncing your God or want to crush it. And you've obviously experienced something in your life that you believe in Jesus, and I don't want to discredit that. I don't believe in it, right? I've experienced God in different ways, right? So, but we need to be brave, even in our community, to speak how we feel, and that we're different, and our community needs to open up and listen to us. Whether if it's we're trans, we're queer, we're punk, we're not Christian, right? That all stuff needs to be taken into consideration too.
I came to a conclusion, to be honest, you're not gonna beat the world.
No.
You know what I mean? You might beat this guy, you might not beat this person or that person. You're still gonna meet someone else you gotta fight with if you really. And I was like, you know what? You're never gonna beat the world. You're never really gonna change the world. You know, in reality, you know, it's just changing yourself.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I just came to a conclusion, or accepting it, like whatever's. I ain't gonna trip. Like I just came to that recently. I just came to that conclusion. To be honest, I'm like, you're not gonna beat the world. What's the point of arguing with this person? And then you're still gonna argue, and that person says yes. Are you gonna argue with that other person?
Yeah.
Like, there's no point to it. Why even argue? You know?
Yeah, I mean, especially online, right? That's even the online stuff is even worse. The trolling and the online stuff's like, what do you get? You never see this person again.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Straight out. Like, even if they write something to me, like, cause I'm barely starting all this stuff. Like, you know, and some people write, "Good, cool, man. You're dope. I like your." Some people say, "Freaking whack. That shit is whack."
Yeah.
It's like, what does it really matter what that guy said?
No,
you know,
no. And
I've never seen him.
And that's a reflection on him because you know, it's like, come on, bro. Like, you took the time to record, to edit, and to bring someone in here. You're putting out good energy, good spirits, and that fool is just like raining on your parade because he doesn't do it. He's just hating. It's easy to go whack, you know, and then go watch fucking Pornhub after or something.
Probably, huh?
Or just whatever, you know. It's just like, come on, be productive. Don't hate on people, especially if they're working. This is work.
Yeah, in reality, it is. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes some money, you know, to be honest.
Yeah, you gotta buy equipment. You know, all these other things. But anyway, we just went on a crazy tangent.
Yeah. Well, I wanna let's bring it back to you. Cause I see on Instagram you're a man. You're a busy man, bro. I've seen that. What else do you do besides work?
I have a girlfriend. I have a good partner. Her and I live together. And my dog. I spend a lot of time with my dog. I have a pit bull. He's a rescue.
You're in a band, right?
I'm in a band. Oh, I mean, I consider band work. So
well, that's fun work, I guess, right?
Well, we get paid. We don't play for free. Pay your artists, motherfuckers.
What kind of music you play, bro?
So right now, I play all kinds of music. But the current band I'm in right now, we're called Mantra. We formed very organically.
Did you play music in your youth?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're still young, but
hell yeah, yeah. We're from a family of musicians. My grandfather, Marcelino, rest in peace, en paz descanse. He was a professional violinist.
Oh wow, dope.
Yeah, that's how he raised 10 kids.
Oh damn.
10 kids put like
was he like in a mariachi
orchestra? Wow. He put half of them through school, through college, and just he was
like studied professional, like as in he went to school for it too.
That's all he did. So I don't think he went to school. My understanding is he learned from his father, and then you learn to play.
Yeah.
You learn notes. You learn the ear. I mean, I wasn't that close to my grandfather, but the one thing that he gave me that I always will thank him for was the gift of the musical ear.
Oh, okay.
He used to call el oído. He used to call it. So learning to so he taught me to play the violin by listening to the violin and then replicating that sound. So
you play violin too?
No. I played when I was a kid. I mean, it's like in my family, the Cortez family. You're born and they give you a violin.
You're Cortez?
I'm Arana Cortez, so my mom's side is Cortez.
Do you know Cesar Cortez or no?
Nah, probably not.
That crazy guy? Yeah, no. He's on here. I did a podcast with him. I think his family's from Guadalajara.
Maybe we're related. Yeah.
Cesar Cortez.
Caesar, holler at me, rock and roll realtor.
Well, his brother kind of looks like you, bro.
Yeah.
He has a mustache, and so I don't know. You might know him.
He's
like into. I don't know his brother that much. I know Cesar for a long time, but his brother's like into the Hindu stuff and. So I'm like, man.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That Hindu stuff's cool.
Yeah. I don't know him, but I know I've talked to him a couple times. So I was like, maybe you know him, you know?
Maybe.
You don't know any guy. You don't know any Cortez that's into the Hindu stuff. I mean, I know he's probably a little bit into the downtown scene. He's like our age too. Bro.
Yeah.
No family like that.
You might
got no family that's Hindu.
I have no family that's Hindu. Most of my family is pretty Catholic.
Oh, okay.
Or
I don't
Christian.
know if Hindu, but it's that scene, you know, that where I think they do all the toad stuff. I'm not sure, but it's that scene or that religion but he's part of that. So no cousins like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like hippie dippy shit too, but so.
Oh, okay. So no cousin. No Caesar's cousins. Not your cousin.
Caesar, maybe we're related, man. Yeah. Reach out to me. Yeah. Maybe we'll do what do they call it? The 31andMe or 61andMe or with the gene thing.
Oh yeah, 23andMe or something.
Yeah, we'll do that one. Maybe we're related.
Cool. Yeah, maybe.
Grandfather was a violinist, so that's how I kind of became a musician. He taught me how to play. But I was always into rock and roll, so I never really liked the violin. Sorry, grandfather, I never really liked the violin. It just wasn't my thing. I played in school. I was in the orchestra. My mom would take me to private lessons, and I just wasn't into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted a fucking drum set. That's what I wanted.
And you're a drummer, right?
I'm a drummer.
Is that the only thing you know? I mean,
kind of. I mean, I could pick up a guitar. So what my grandfather taught me was he taught me how to listen. So when I was in high school and like early college, I had a guitar. I could strum it. I could learn how to play. Like if I could pick up stuff, if I can actually pick up instruments and play them little, like I can play, I don't know, LA Woman by the Doors on the bass or whatever. Like I could hear it and then replicate it on bass. Or, I know some chords. Like every so often if I'm at a show and I get really drunk, and this happens like, not the drunk part, the part that we're like, hey, can I just play? I'll ask the band that I'm playing with if I can go like front it and play like a song or something. But that never, it's very rare that it happens.
So just mainly drums.
Drums. I mean, drums are an instrument on its own, man. You can go crazy with it. There's so many things to do, and I always liked drums. I always wanted to play drums.
You know how to do
the twirl? Yeah, there's probably a video on me on YouTube somewhere doing the twirl. They used to call it the Tommy Lee twirl.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, me and my homie Napoleon, who's in jail. Hopefully I get to see him soon.
Hey.
We used to have a joke, because he was a drummer too, and there was a video in the 80s by Motley Crue called Wild Side, right? And Tommy Lee would be playing and he would do the fucking twirl and then he would do this. It was the cheesiest thing, but it's like we would try when I'd go to his shows when we were playing around, and we would just throw the Motley Crue stick wherever we could and just be cheesy about it. That's dope. But yeah, I mean, it was hard. I mean, we lived in small, like, my parents didn't buy an actual house until I was 14. So I got a first drum set when I was 12. And I fucking begged, man. It was crazy. Like we didn't have a garage when they bought it. So we lived like in a 2-bedroom apartment, and my mom bought it. I had to figure out where to store it. She bought the cymbals and shit. And then, during the summer of my 7th grade and 8th grade year, my parents worked. They're Mexicanos. They work all day. I fucking played those drums all day, man. Damn.
So when they were gone, that's when you.
They were gone. I would set up my kit every time and just play and play and play. Yeah. Before that,
so you had to take it apart.
Yeah, because we didn't have anywhere to store it. Yeah. And then before that, I would get these and I have drumsticks. So the way I learned, I had these rulers, and then I would play on pillows, right, with my rulers. So I would take the sharp end. Remember the ruler? You had the little metal blade. Edge?
Yeah.
I'd take it out and then fucking carve it with like whatever I could, like a knife, and then make drumsticks out of it.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my dad he'd get pissed because I'd be like 11 and I'd be fucking. And he was in the next room, and then it was like annoying, Yeah. So he would come in because he had to wake, working class guy has to wake up at fucking 5:30 to go to work, and it's 11 and I'm here fucking trying to learn Metallica,
especially right? Metallica
or something like that.
Not a romantica.
No, I was pretty rocker. I love Spanish music now. I didn't like Spanish music growing up that much. Okay. But now I fucking love it.
That's dope. So what kind of music you do?
So with Mantra, we're doing rock en español. We're doing cumbias.
Cumbias? Oh, cumbias too?
Yeah. We're throwing a big cumbia mix, and we're doing some funk.
Oh, some funk too?
Yeah. So funk, but I would say 60.
On your own style or your covers?
We're mostly cover. We're getting hired to, we charge $300 an hour, guys, or $350 sometimes.
Oh, okay.
So
good to know.
Yeah. If you got us, but the crowd, they want the bangers. They want the rock en español bangers. We throw in some Selena. We throw.
That's not that bad though, to be honest. I don't know if you know how much a banda charges.
Sometimes you do $500. Right?
Depends. A banda it could be $600.
Yeah, but there's like 12 of those fools, right?
Yeah,
so they really don't get paid that much at the end.
No, yeah. It's a lot of guys. They gotta divide it.
Yeah, that's a lot of guys.
But it's still not bad,
No, yeah. I mean, that project came out pretty organic. We did a Cinco de Mayo gig. One of the bassist works for the county, and they're like, I knew him because he was in a band called the Hurricanes, a local band. You know, they started getting some notoriety. Good kids. They were young. I saw them play. I forget where, and I told my girl, like, let's go check this band out in some fucking warehouse in Anaheim, like 6 years ago or something like that. And at the time I was 26, my girlfriend was 27, and we're like the oldest people there. And we're like, these guys fucking rock. They're really good. Oscar eventually left the band, but he still likes to play. He hits me up one day. We just kind of knew each other. He's like, hey, you want to do this gig? You know, we'll learn these songs. And I was like, fuck it, let's do it. So we did the Cinco de Mayo gig for the county, and then somebody saw us there, hired us. We've never advertised since then. We've been together for like over 2 years now, and we get gigs steady all the time.
That's good, man. You pretty much do weekends or
anytime. I mean, mostly parties for the weekends, unless they have like a corporate shit that they needed during the week. For most of the time, the weekends. Yeah.
And do you have an Instagram for that, or,
yeah.
or is what is it?
Mantra 714.
Mantra 714. Maybe you could text me that info, or in my Instagram. Yeah. That way I put it up here too, and you know.
I mean, thank God that the clubs are open back now. You know, they're like, I think we have a gig at Next Round.
Is that where everybody goes for the funk now?
The funk was the West End, the West. I think they call West Side.
Oh no, round 2 or second round they call.
There's Next Round, and then there's another one on the on Fifth and Broadway, called the West End.
Oh, okay.
The homie there, I forget his name, but he's hired the band a couple times.
Okay.
Those are fun. I miss club gigs. They're really fun. Club owners got to pay musicians more. I'll put you guys on blast because you guys don't pay a shit. But they're really fun to play, man. Yeah. It's really fun to be at 1:30 in the morning, and all these fucking kids are going crazy.
Well, the guy that came last night too, he was like, "Man, you're still rapping?" Well, not last night. He came Monday. You're still rapping? I'm like, "That's dope, man," because I haven't seen him in years. And he's like, I remember when you would rap like at open mics and all that stuff. He's like, you should start getting into it. I'm like, you know what? He kind of opened my mind to it because I haven't done it in years. You know what I mean? I never really performed, but the open mics thing were pretty fun.
Just do it. I mean, we've been doing it since you're a kid. Yeah. So, I mean, at that, you know, eventually you build up the repertoire, and then you're like, okay, let's play. So now, I mean, before that, I was in another band called The Droppers for years. And then there's portions of my life where I played in 2 bands, and you know, played anywhere like San Diego, Northern California, Las Vegas, doing whatever, you know. That's dope. Burning the candle on both ends because I was building a real estate business and playing in a band. So
well, yeah, like I said, I see you busy all the time, man. Like I said, I'm new to Instagram, so I do look, you know what I mean? I look at everybody, not at everybody, but I do look like, let me see what this person is putting up. But I see that you're busy, man, and you bike ride. What else you do, man? You music, your work. De por sí, I know from my understanding, real estate really isn't a time schedule, huh? You don't really have I'm gonna go from 8 to 3.
No, I mean client. I mean, it's clients could be demanding, right? So I try to shut it off by. When I was first starting to build a business, it was crazy. It would even cause some problems in my relationship because I was always fucking working. Yeah. I didn't know how to turn it off. But now I mostly for the most part, I try not to work on Sundays. I'm mostly pretty good at it. You know, like I built up a decent business where like, you know, like you could respect at least my Sunday and not hit me up on Sunday if you don't need to. But it is all encompassing. The way I structure the business is, so I have a sales division, and then we help people sell and buy like you, right? And then I have, through that, over the time, I've been able to buy like rental property, right? Yeah. And then we have that division. We have to manage that. That one's pretty legit, easy to do. And then I have a flip division, so we're buying and flipping property. So sometimes the calls start at 6:30 a.m. and they end at 8:39.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's hard work, man. I mean, I do construction, but doesn't mean it's the only hard job, you know. It's still hard work.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'll jump into I like the landscaping part of the project, so I like to jump in on those.
Well, yeah, like you were telling me that you also pretty much rehab your houses that you buy, that you invest in, right? You take the time to pretty much be a GC. You were telling me like
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so that's still more work on top of your work, you know. So much props to you, man. Good job. Well, I know you have from when I met you, the times we talked, and my idea, it seems like you have a goal. It's not just working, you know. It's not just selling the house. It seems like you want to help. Is that your goal?
So I mean, I want to help myself and I want to help other people.
Yeah.
So again, ownership's important, right? We always have our fights, our political fights, or city fights are about the haves and have-nots, right? That's where we're always talking about that, right? We're talking about Jeff Bezos and the people that work for Jeff Bezos, right?
Yeah.
So if on a micro level, if I can help you and guide you achieve a piece of ownership, once you do it, you start building some equity, right? Like, you bought the house for 500, you've been here for a year, or I'm just giving you a hypothetical. I mean, if you have been in the real estate game or bought any real estate in the last 3 years, I mean, you're like, fuck yeah, my house is worth 50, 75 grand more. I mean, think about how long it takes people to sell you $75,000 just to, it takes a long time. So that one house is a ticket to a lot of things, right? After 10 years, you can pay your kids' education. You can take some money and start your business. You can take some of that money and buy a rental property. So if I can educate you on the one, right, that's on the first time home ownership. But then we have to take it even further. And how do I help you? How do you build a portfolio where you can take care of your family, where you can be part of your community, where you could be a responsible landlord, right? Like maybe the motherfucker that owns the house next door to you lives like in another city that never comes here. So if I can show you and you do it and you take part of your community and you own it, honestly, again, this is business. You're trying to make some money, right? Some profit. But you can work pretty good arrangements with your tenants. I'm like, hey, I fixed this place. This is my rent. My part of the contract is to keep this place good and habitable condition. It works. If you have any maintenance issues, cool, let me know. I'm going to be a good person. And then your part of the contract is to pay me, right? Eventually, I'd hope that you would save your own money and buy your own place. That way you don't have to pay me money.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. What got you into wanting to do this, man? Like, I mean, you did go to college. Was that your mind state all the time? Like,
no.
Or what was it like? I'll be honest. Like, I don't see too much. A lot of people like you buy and sell. Like, I don't, not too much. Maybe there's a few, but I don't see too many buying and selling. Maybe in real estate, but not buying property and investing and reselling or renting. What was the process for that?
So, well, my mom, I saw how real estate could play a big real estate. I saw how it took my mom from an immigrant woman to a good nest egg in a middle class that
So your mom's in real estate too?
No, she was a business owner in Guadalajara, sold her business, bought a place here, so she had a nest egg to buy her house here, right? But I saw how much she made in working, assembly line job, supervisor job, not making a ton of money, and how that steady. Eventually, she was able to sell that place, and then gave her another seed to maybe she's built some houses in Guadalajara now. She's done a lot with that seed money that she started with from the sale of her house in the U.S. So I saw the stability that it provided. At that point, it wasn't my thing to be a real estate agent when I was growing up. I did have good sales skills. I've been in like fucking all kind. I used to sell cell phones. I had a hummus company. I used to sell classic cars all over the world.
Oh, nice. That too?
Yeah.
Sell classic cars? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have a Corvette, huh?
I have a Corvette.
What year is it?
A 76 Stingray.
76. And I seen you like once or twice. I mean, you say you pass by here all the time, but at least twice. I'm like, oh, that's Julio.
Yeah, it's pretty recognizable car. Yeah.
That's a nice car.
So I used to have a buddy. My buddy and I would sell cars all over. We kind of flip them, right? So there's always been an entrepreneurial sense.
That's good.
But the sales part is very transactional. So I wanted to build wealth for the future, And that's when holding and buying came. I'm like, okay, cool. I need to come up with the down payments. And then I come up with the down payment. It's called using leverage. It's called using credit, right? Sometimes in our community, it is preached that you should not have any debt, right? It should be debt free, but smart debt is good. And real estate's the best because I can take 10% and the bank lets me borrow 90% or even 20%.
Oh, okay.
And the bank lets me borrow 80% of that. Right, that's a lot. It's on the bank's fucking letting me borrow all kinds of money, right? And then I put a tenant in there, and the tenant's paying the rent, and then they're paying the taxes, they're paying the insurance, they're paying the mortgage, and I have money left over. It's a no-brainer. And the tax benefits that you get, you know, again, this is not a political statement, but I mean, like, why wouldn't you take advantage of the tax breaks? Like, if you're always hating on the white dude, well, fucking take advantage of it too. Like, legally, I'm not even talking about illegally. Like, there's tax breaks for the depreciation of property, right? You can write off everything. The income is discharged completely different. You know, like people are always like, well, fucking Jeff Bezos doesn't pay taxes, and you know, kind of fuck that guy. But also, like, he doesn't pay taxes because he doesn't get paid on his wages. He basically doesn't make any money as wages. He gets paid in capital gains. Right. So you could do that too, right? You know, wages are real estate rent are taxed at a completely different rate than the wage of a doctor. For example, if I made 200 grand in real estate rents and 200 grand as a doctor, I would take the rents any day because I'm in a different tax bracket. A doctor at 200 grand is paying half of his money, or half of her money is going towards paying taxes. Almost half. So you're slashing that shit to 100. They have no write-offs, right? It's their wage. But if you're making it as an investment income with real estate, right, you can write off 26 and a half years of the roof, the plumbing, capital upgrades, right? And on top of that, the rents are taxed at a different rate than wages are. So anyway, I mean, that's the educational piece that I'm trying to get people to understand. That's why I like real estate.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, well, yeah, like I remember you telling me you want to start classes, and that's good, man. Like I said, you don't see too many people even want to throw stuff like that. I want to do this. I want to, even if you can or you could, like, there's not too many people say, I want to help the poor. I want to help immigrants. I want to help Africans. I want to help the sick people. There is, but not too much nowadays, man. I remember growing up, I would hear it, and I don't hear it too much now, you know. And then you telling me I want to educate the people. That's powerful, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I can do. I mean, I don't know if I can, you know, I mean, we can pass some policy, right? You know, some fair policy, and that could be argued against in Congress of the pros and cons of policy, but if I can teach you now, or teach one or two people, and you know, in my community at least, we're a little bit stronger, right? And in my immediate community where I live. Yeah,
that's cool, man, and I respect that. I respect that a lot. Any recommendations you could tell the raza, the people, anybody trying to start something up? You know, I try to tell this to anybody that's doing something that comes here. What recommendations you want to say? What step you should take? You know, like anybody listening, whoever's listening. Sometimes I feel like people are stuck, or they don't know what they want to do, or they feel like they can't. What step you or what advice you give out?
Well, I mean, I would say take a good audit of the things that you like to do. Never try to live a life to impress the Joneses, right? You know, really do an audit of what do I like to do? What are the things that I'm good at, right? Like, obviously, like I'm 5'8", 5'7", 5'8" on a good day, 5'7". I
so you shrink and grow.
I ain't playing in the NBA tomorrow, right? Like, I got to be realistic about what I want to do with life goals, but you know, take inventory of the things that I'm good at, and then capitalize on those things, right?
Okay.
And
for a lot of people don't know what capitalize is. What's capitalize?
Take advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. No. So if I could talk, do something like talk. If I'm organized, you know, do things like that. Try different things. Don't be afraid to fail, especially if you're young, man. Like, don't never be forced to grow up really fast. Take a million jobs if you need to. It's okay. you get fired, you know.
And I like bringing this up because like I say, I want to do this as a positive platform. Yeah, I'm gonna invite different people, but at the end, I want to become a platform where people can listen and maybe help from one thing that they hear. Because I grew up with a lot of people that in Santana, I realized a lot of people, well, maybe not a lot, but it is a lot at the end of the day that just think they can't even come out their square. You know,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I grew up seeing a lot of people like that, and it's like, bro, I'm over here right now, even though I'm still here, but I'm over here right now, and then over here, then I'm gonna come back, then leave. It's like it's there's more to just that box.
Yeah, yeah. Don't build your jail cell, right?
Yeah. Well, that's another one. Yeah.
I mean, the world's a good place. Go out. I mean, you live in one of the most beautiful places in the world, right? Go to the beach, go to the mountains, things that you need to do. Again, start building up your own self-esteem. Good, positive mental attitude is a good thing, you know, to help start. And then start off with little chunks, right? Like, you know, like if I want to, you know, like if I wanted to own 10 houses, I didn't go from one, like I didn't want to, that the idea of owning 10 houses is overwhelming. So take it step by step. So how much money do I need to save for my first one? Okay, what do I need to do? How much money do I make in my current job? Can I take another job? Right? Like, do I need this car payment? No, fuck it. Let's cut it out. Am I eating out too much? Right? Like, am I buying too much beer? Like, there's things that you could do out of your life. I mean, it's work, right? It's hard, but if you really want something, you'll make the changes that you need to, right? And there are little changes, like little steps. You'd be surprised by the little steps that you do in a year, how different you could be.
Yeah, it's a big change. I take like the coronavirus. A lot of people didn't go out. I understand, but it doesn't mean you had to be trapped. You know, like I bought my house during the coronavirus. You helped me out to buy it. You know, so just for example, like even yet you don't have to be stuck. You know, pretty much that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean we had our best business year during the coronavirus. That's crazy.
That's good, man. That's good.
But it was stressful. I mean, we had a lot of projects. I didn't know if the real estate market was gonna crash. I didn't know if tenants were gonna pay. I didn't know if I was gonna sell houses. So
it's good right now. The market for real estate.
Yeah, I mean it's. I mean I'm a firm believer that the real estate market's always good, right? Like you can always find a deal. There's always things. Again, you got to start somewhere. So you're not gonna hit a home run if this is your first time batting. I think people want the home run, and it's like nah, like you can't do it. You got to learn. I didn't learn to play. I don't know, some crazy Metallica song when I first sat down. I had to work on it. So. Yeah. You know, you weren't gonna buy one house will not make you rich and will not make you bankrupt. So you have to start, learn the process, learn what it's like to own, learn what it's like to, you know, get your feet wet, what it's like to pay the mortgage, what it's like to prepare, what it's like to do little things. Once you get that experience, okay, I might be ready for the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one.
Nice.
So I think it's always a good time. It's always a good time, right? In the long term, I've had clients that bought in 2008. I mean, in 2006, they held and they sold now, maybe for the same amount what they bought it for, a little more. But 10 years of paying down that loan, you know, it's good. If anything, take it as a forced savings account, right? Americans are terrible at saving money. So if you can buy a house, at least it forces you to save money because you're making a payment every month.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. You got to work a little harder. But you also save a little more.
Yeah.
Well, you have to, you know. You have to.
Yeah. I mean, you got to pay someone rent.
Yeah.
So you got to live somewhere, right? So might as well go to you.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. Any shout outs you want to throw out to anybody listening? Any shout outs to your friends? Anybody? Any shout outs?
Yeah. I mean, I guess shout out to my girl and my dog.
Okay. What's your dog's name?
Cash.
Cash, huh?
Yeah, Cash.
It's a pit bull, or what is it?
Pit bull. He's adopted. Adopt. Don't buy that fucking Frenchie bullshit. I mean, I love them. They're cute, but come on, dude. They have all these kinds of genetic problems, and they're expensive. There's all kinds of beautiful dogs that need your love. Like, don't buy a designer dog.
And cats.
You know? Cats are cool too. I'm allergic, a lot of cats, huh? But I got a couple homegirls that are like really into cats, and they're really lovable. And so I don't think my mom would watch this, but shout out to my mom. And then, I guess shout out to my crew. It might seem like I'm a solo guy, but I got a team, man. I got a team. I got an assistant. I got a girl that's helping me out. So we got a whole fucking team working behind this real estate stuff, right? So I got all my contractors. We're do a lot because I got a good team behind me. So shout out to all of them.
Well, shout out to everybody. Julio shouted out. Julio, I appreciate you coming through. Thank you. It's fun. I wish we had more time. Maybe we could do this again another time.
Bring me part 2.
Yeah, part 2. There was something I had in my mind. Let me see if it comes real quick.
Tacos?
That's always on my mind. It was something else. I had something on my mind. No, I had some. I did. Well,
If he might edit it and throw it in.
Maybe. But thank you once again. Like I said, I appreciate it. It was cool. It was fun. Anything you want to say one more time? Anything else you want to shout out? Nobody?
No, I mean,
anything you want to say out of your own?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say you guys just keep out working, stay positive. Try to take it one day at a time. Try to rid yourself of like negative thoughts. Start a good day good. I mean, work, be good influence, spread the love, like legit love, hug, kiss. Like love's a powerful thing. Try to come from a place of love, and I think you guys that the world is going to be a better place. So love your mom, love your dad, love your partner. Try to be a good person. Good
advice. Anywhere they can follow you at? I mean, I know you have a band. You said you had one. You want to throw that on one more time?
Mantra 714. You guys can follow me on IG. The biggest platform I use is IG. I used to use Facebook a lot. Sometimes I'm still there, but follow me. Rock and Roll Realtor Julio Arana. We also have a real estate page called Santa Ana Real Estate. I own that one. But yeah, I mean, if you holler Rock and Roll Realtor, I'll try to get back to you. I get a lot of fucking inquiries, so
so people can hit you up about, let's just say 100 people view this, and one says I want to ask them a question. Can they hit you up?
Hit me up
on Instagram for that?
Hit me up on IG. I'll try my best to answer it. Be persistent. If I don't answer the first time, don't take it personal. The second time I'll eventually will. I'm a busy guy.
There you go.
So.
I think that's what I wanted to ask. Like, can people, I think that's what it was. Can people hit you up and ask you a question?
Hit me up. Yeah,
because the other guy that I brought in, he was like, well, I have an Instagram, but I'm not trying to have people follow me. I'm not promoting anything.
Yeah,
it's just my personal Instagram.
Well, I'm in sales, guys.
Okay, so there you go.
Tell your grandma, your tío, your boss. Tell anybody you want to tell about me. Go for it.
Hit them up. I recommend. Like I said, cool. I'm like you guys. I'm like you guys. And if you really work at it and you get the right help, you could probably own property, own your own house. And I mean, you might work harder, but hey, you have your house. And once again, thank you, Julio. I appreciate it.
Hi, brother. I like the ask the count.
Oh yeah, thank you. That's why I put it there. I was like, I have to put that up there.
There you go.
Fred was telling me like, you got to put more stuff. I'm still gonna put. I'm thinking of putting some lights.
Yeah, you get Javon, get Fred. I get all your. We have so many artist friends. Just make it happen and put all kinds of crazy shit there.
Yeah, Javon, come through. Yeah. Fred's been here, so that those two guys. So
yeah.
And you don't know Caesar. I thought he was your cousin, but
yeah.
It's your boy Dwell, aka Mr. J, with Julio, the Rock and Roll Realtor, coming at you sideways. Once again, thank you for coming through. Like and subscribe. Peace. Have a good one.
Peace. Cool.